What's up, Scorpio? Welcome to your January 2022 general reading. This is going to be for you, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, but it's not going to hit home for all of you guys, so definitely check out your other placements, okay? Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a beautiful, safe, fun, loving New Year, and I hope that it continues for the rest of the year. I will say this year, you know what, Scorpio? I feel like this year in general is going to teach you a lot, especially when it comes to choosing your battles, and I think that we kick off the year with January with that kind of being a theme. This month is going to be big in terms of communication, in terms of facts, in terms of, maybe your siblings, your neighbors, your personal communities, education, information, all those things that are connected to the third house, right? Which is like that Gemini energy. So for you guys, Capricorn season is a lot of that. Now, we had a new moon in Capricorn on the 2nd. The same day that we had that new moon on the 2nd, we had Mercury going into Aquarius. Like I said, there's going to be a lot tapping into your communication. And really, there's a lot that I think you're learning this month in terms of effective communication. I think that this is something that Scorpio's been working on in general, but this month there's a lot more emphasis on it because we are tapping into that third house, right? Now, Mercury does go retrograde this month. So it moves into Aquarius on the 2nd. On the 14th, it goes retrograde in Aquarius. And so, same shit as always with Mercury retrogrades. We want to watch out for delays. We want to watch out for miscommunication. We want to watch out for things not exactly sticking, making plans and them not sticking, making sure that we're reading fine print, looking at contracts over and over, those types of things. So your typical, those types of things, those are coming up. But again, a lot of this for you guys is going to be emphasis on your communication and, choosing your battles, like when to let things go and when to not, when to hold on to information, when to not, when to hold something against somebody, when to not, those types of things. Also this month, we've got a full moon in Cancer coming up, which is going to be emotional. It's a Cancer full moon. You guys are a fellow water sign. And for you guys, that's going to be tapping into your 9th house. So, whenever we talk about in a collective sense, Cancer full moons, that has a lot to do with our home and our foundations, perhaps our emotional stability, our emotional happiness, all of that, perhaps your mother. So those may be some family themes coming up since we've got, that that Cancer energy of the 4th house, but also that 3rd house energy with siblings, or maybe something going on with like your siblings, your mother, something like that at this time this month. Now we are going to also be having Uranus going direct. Now, Uranus has been retrograde since August of last year, which for everybody collectively, this was a time for us to really kind of step out of our comfort zones, really figure out where it is that we find ourselves in the world, where we want to enact change and really be involved with our communities. And so there's going to be a lot of clarity that comes to you at the end of this month when Uranus goes direct. So that's always a great thing. After that, Aquarius season starts on the 19th, which is great, especially for you guys, again, going back to in terms of communication, because Aquarius is like that detached air sign. So for you guys, this is a great balance in terms of communication because you guys will be able to communicate with people you love more effectively without putting so much emotion in it. I tell people this all the time, especially people who are in relationships, especially women who are fighting with their men. Girl, the second you raise your voice and it goes up another octave, they don't even hear you, right? Like the second we get too emotionally riled up in something, and it presents itself through the way that we communicate, the other person can't even hear you. And even if they can, they don't want to because they're like, yo, what are you doing? You're doing too much, So Aquarius season will be good for you guys, especially in terms of that effective communication. And again, we will be dealing with more themes of family, foundations, and all that, which we'll talk about in the next month's video. After that, Mars, which is one of your rulers, right? That's your original ruler. Your technically ruled by Mars and Pluto. Mars moves into Capricorn, so you'll be feeling a lot of drive, especially towards your professional things. If you haven't already made some professional goals during this new moon, I would say do it. It's not too late, even though it's a couple days later. I'm getting this video out to you. It's not too late, and I would really kind of put that into play if you can. Just write out some professional goals that maybe you have for yourself, and I think that'll be really, really good. And then also at the end of the month on the 29th, Venus goes back direct because it's been retrograde since December 19th. So things in terms of communication, relationships, all those things will gradually become more clear, especially as this month goes on. I think this month is a big emphasis, again, for you guys to like, yo, let's start the year with the lessons of like when to choose our battles, like what to fight, what not, what to hold on to, what not. And I think this is really good for you. Okay. Now you've got the Knight of Cups as the unseen energy. This is beautiful. This is a possible love offer. Some of you guys might be dealing with another water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but this is just a really great offer. This is, you know, Knight of Cups is like the romantic. That's the poet. That's the person who's, you know, can sweep you up in your feelings because they're so connected to those feelings. But it isn't like a king or a queen. It isn't as mature. It isn't as settled. It isn't as, intentional, right? It's still kind of figuring things out, but I think this is really good, especially for those of you guys who are dating. This might be a theme of you guys getting to know other people, meeting other people, especially since we are in that month of communication for you guys, especially if it comes through people who are close to you, siblings, friends, neighbors, that kind of thing. But this is really, really, really beautiful, and I like to see this at the start of the year, okay? Now, you guys also have Temperance and Nine of Cups. Again, this month is a lot about finding the flow. I think that you guys are coming to new conclusions this month, which is going to serve you well. New conclusions in terms of information that you get, also new conclusions in terms of what it is that you want to do in the long run. You know, one thing that I think that's important, especially if we're talking about information in terms of information and facts, is being open when you're presented with new information to change your opinion if you know, you see fit. I think sometimes with, you know, our egos, we can get so caught up on believing a thing, and just wanting to drive that point home. Even if someone is presenting you with actual facts and actual data and actual things that are, you know, opposing what it is that you're thinking and believing. And so I think this month there's a lot to do with that too. And I say this from a point of, y'all know I have hella Scorpio in my chart. I'm mostly Scorpio, to be honest. I'm a Libra that's on the cusp of Scorpio. My Mercury's in Scorpio. My Venus is in Scorpio. My Pluto's in Scorpio. Like, she's everywhere. And so, with that, there's this rigidity that can happen with Scorpios, right? Because you are fixed water. So you get set on a point, you can just get stuck there, and it doesn't matter who's telling you what. You can just decide that they don't know better and you do. And I think this month kind of gives you a chance to be a little bit more open-minded in that. This month also might bring some travel things to the front. We've got the Page of Wands here. And for me, he's always a traveler, especially when I see it with the Temperance card. So some of you guys might be connecting with this Sagittarius this month, which is cool. Sagittariuses are definitely fun, especially if there's someone who's younger. But there is this sense of going with the flow. I think that you guys are in a really good place. I think that, you know, through everything, Scorpio finds himself starting the year off at least on a blank slate. There is no, you know, and everyone's going to be different, but I think in a general sense, Scorpios feel pretty good. They're pretty pleased with how they ended the year, pretty pleased with their circumstance, pretty pleased with, honestly, being happy and being alone for a lot of you guys. But there is something coming to you. So whether this is someone who you are, you know, thinking about dating, whether this is just some new adventures, there's some things that you guys are sitting here waiting for. And what I love is that it looks like you're waiting in eager anticipation, right? With that Nine of Cups, because this isn't someone who's stressing about things that are happening around them. This is someone who is completely satisfied in the moment where they are, independent of anybody else. I also do, though, want you guys to make make sure that you're watching out, especially if you are drinking a little bit more. You know, it is holiday season. It's normal for us to drink a little bit more excessively when we get together with friends and family and party and all that stuff. There is something that's telling me that there needs to be a little bit more balance in terms of possibly vices or drinking, especially when I see the 2 cups being poured, right? With that Temperance card, and then I see that 9 of Cups, because that can oftentimes be someone who's overindulging in something. So whether it's drinking, partying, maybe even spending too much money, whatever it is that you feel like you've maybe been doing in excess, you know, just like find the balance, you know, choose your battles, that type of thing. But I think that a lot of you guys are in a really good place. I think there's a lot of things that are being planned at the top of the year. You guys are excited for these new things, these new adventures, these new trips, new people, new goals. And I see nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful. Now, you also have this Star card, which is connected to Aquarius energy. Maybe some of you guys were dealing with an Aquarius, but I love to see this because it's in the past position. And I do love to see this in the past position because I feel like a lot of you Scorpios have come a long way in terms of your healing, in terms of even your faith, in terms of just your vulnerability. You know, Scorpios, you guys are connected to Pluto, which is connected to that underworld. Scorpios are the #1 secret keepers. Scorpios are the #1, like it's hard to penetrate. It's hard to penetrate because I don't know, like I feel like Scorpios can almost fool themselves into making their own truth and making their own reality. And so there may have been some things that you've had to face, right? In the past here, some people that you've had to face, some circumstances, some situations that maybe you tried to ignore and they've kind of come back up. Right, but I feel like you find healing here. Now, you've got the 9 of Wands, which is clarifying this. And this is someone who is scared. This is someone who's gone through hard times. This is someone who's gone through battles, possibly gotten their heart broke, possibly gotten, you know, their head banged up a little bit, but they still have the ability to fight, right? I just wanted you to keep in mind, especially if this has to do with like relationship stuff, if there is something that went wrong in the past, you know, don't let that dictate how you move in the future. You still have amazing things here for you because you got the Star card. That is hope, that is healing, that is wish fulfillment. So I think there was a lot of healing that you guys came out of, especially with that Uranus energy, right? Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius, and Uranus going direct, I think, is going to be major for you guys. I think there's going to be a lot of awarenesses, a lot of aha moments, a lot of clarity of how you want to move forward. In this clarity, again, there comes this, okay, let me choose my battles. What all can I actually take on? What all can I actually do? You know, Scorpios, you guys are deeply generous people. At least that's been my experience with you guys. And, you know, all the Scorpios in my life that I've been close to, like when they said they loved me and when they said they were down for me and when they said they ride for me, that shit's been solid, right? But just be mindful of how much you take on. I think that there's a lot that you guys are in kind of a transition of trying to do. And with that, you might not be able to take on other people's things the way you would in the past. And honestly, I don't think you're supposed to. Whenever we get the 10 of Wands, it's just kind of your warning of like, watch what you're doing, watch what all you're taking on, even watch what you're watching, watch what you're eating, because, you know, this is someone who, I mean, is like seconds away from breaking her back. She's taking on too much. She's taking on things that don't belong to her. And you just, it's not good for you, right? Like in terms of like a self-care standpoint, it's not good for you. So just make sure that you guys are taking on what you can take on, because there's a lot of possible burnout that can happen this month for you. This might kind of put you guys in an uncomfortable position of having to figure out, you know, what it is that you value more. We've got the 2 of Pentacles here clarifying it. And whenever I think of Pentacles, I do think of value. And you see this person's kind of weighing up the options of, yo, what should I do? What do I value more? It's either that or it's just, again, in your multitasking, right? Because 2 of Pentacles can have a lot to do with that. Make sure that you're prioritizing the priorities, right? Your priorities. So even if you're multitasking, even if you're in a place or a position where you're helping people out this month, make sure you're prioritizing your priorities. That's going to be major. Major, major, major. And it may involve a plan. Again, when Mercury goes into Aquarius, which it just did, I think that's going to be really good for you because you'll be able to think a little bit more clear, a little bit more objective without all the extra emotions and drama. Let yourself have the drama, let yourself have the emotions if you need to vent or get it out, but then you move forward with a strategic plan, okay? Now, Three of Cups is here. Let your friends help you. Some of you guys might need help from your friends in terms of doing something, a job opportunity, meeting a person, dating, whatever. But regardless, I think that you guys are finding that you're surrounded by really, really stellar people, right? Like Three of Cups is a card of joy. It's a card of peace. It's a card of coming together. It's a card of kind of, that sense of community. I love that you have, third house energy that you're working with this month. I think that you guys have some really solid people around you. And so lean on them. I think there's going to be moments this month where you're feeling very social. And that's really good. But remember, if you can't be at every event, if you can't make every panel, if you can't do whatever it is that everyone's asking you to do, that's okay. And you have to be okay with that. Prioritize your priorities or you will get burnt out this month, because with this Capricorn energy and with this Mars going into Capricorn energy, you guys are going to feel so driven. But, hold on, girl, because hella cards fell out. Oh, okay. Very interesting. What I do love to see is this is the end of a very difficult time. We've got the 10 of Swords here, and with the 10 of Swords, we've got the 5 of Wands. Some of you guys might have been having some kind of back and forth with people. Could be friends, could be family, could be siblings. But it feels like you guys are coming to the end of a hard time and a rough patch. I hate to say it, this also might have to do with in terms of like detoxing certain friendships out of your life that maybe aren't or have not been the best for you, or people who, when you tell them good news about you, you can tell that they sincerely don't give a fuck. Like you tell them you got the promotion, they're like, nice. They don't care, like they're jealous or they don't care. I don't know. There might be a little bit of that going on, a little bit of that detoxing going on this month. So make sure you are aware of that. But on the flip, like I said, I think a lot of you guys are surrounded by a lot of good people. I think there's a great possible growth here, especially in business. I think there's a great chance for networking here. So keep that in mind. Communication coming in, travel coming in, and you know what? There's a victory here. So I feel like this has to do with whatever this stuff may be. This 5 of Wands, 10 of Swords, kind of going back and forth stuff. I feel like you end up getting the justice and getting the victory at the end. So whatever that has to do with, again, it could be having to do with your neighbors, could be having to do with your siblings, or just whatever your close-knit community is. But it feels like things will work its way out or work itself out, and you will have the victory in the end. So that's good. Now, 9 of Pentacles is the last card we've got here. Independent woman. You know what I'm saying? This is the single ladies card. This is the card of I can do bad all by myself. This is the card of I'm abundant, I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I did it. This card doesn't leave room for the codependency here. And so I think that a lot of you guys are feeling a lot more independent. You got the 9 of Cups again. Again, watch the drinking. I really feel like somebody needs to hear that. Some of you guys might even be triggered. Like on the flip, 9 of Pentacles is a great place to be, whether you're in a relationship or not, right? Because if you're in a relationship and you get 9 of Pentacles, for me, that's like someone who's very interdependent, someone who's capable of doing the things on their own, but they've got the partner, right? There's no codependency there. It's a good flow. But on the flip, if let's say you are like a single Scorpio and you've been feeling not the best in your singledom, right? This could be someone who's overindulging to kind of numb the pain or take away or whatever, but don't do that. I think you guys are in a really, 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 really good place, actually. I just want to make sure that you're not taking on so much. I think you guys are in a powerful place where you feel like you can kind of leverage it out and take on more that you feel other people can't handle. But just be careful of that, because you can absolutely get burnt out this month. You guys have done a lot of healing up until this point, and just expect for more to happen this month too, okay? Now, you've got pay yourself first. It says make yourself your most, why can't I read? Make yourself your most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you are paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you'll have savings to invest in your present and your future. Boom, shakalaka. And then you've also got make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay, so make the effort. Like I said, there may be someone, especially you singles, who's kind of flowing into your space at this time. That Temperance, take your time, make the effort, find the flow, all of that. It feels like if there is someone coming into your space, it could be fire. There's a lot of fire energy here. I'm feeling more of that fire energy. So Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. And yeah, I hope that this was helpful. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, Scorpio.